It's here. Today is the day to take a look at the HooDoo Tarot. I can't wait. I have been waiting a while. I ordered this on the pre-release. I've been waiting to look at it, to share it. This is an amazing thing. Taking a step back and doing this a little different than I usually do. I can't say enough about the amount of work and spirit that has gone into creating this deck. This is definitely one of those decks you want to get out. You want to get out the little book. You want to read it from cover to cover. You have to read it from cover to cover. The amount of history, the amount of how what's in the book goes with what she has done with these cards. You absolutely have to read the book. Take some time, a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Sit down, read the book, and do some intuition work with this. I think you will be amazed at just everything that you learn and just kind of how what she's written from the historical perspective just kind of pulls from your heart and pulls from your soul so you can really get into this. It has a huge booklet. I mean, this is a on your couch, cozy room kind of read. It is a full-size booklet. This is not a little tiny booklet. This one you won't be able to put in your pocketbook and carry around. This is a full-size book, and it is absolutely amazing. I've only gotten through about half of this, but it really helps you get to know the characters and understand the cards from the perspective that this deck has been written. It has, the plants. It has the information on the imagery. It has Bible verses that coincide with each card. Again, this is a full read. You have to sit down and get with it. Now, the cards are different. A lot of the traditional imagery is there, but the cards are different. They just are. And they have to be, honestly, for what she's done here in this deck. So we'll get to the cards in just a second. But again, I just want to say to you guys, this book in itself would have been worth the cost of what this whole entire deck was. This thing is absolutely phenomenal, and I want to applaud her for spending the time and effort to do so much background research and information. Just phenomenal. So with that, let's take a look at these cards because they really are awesome. All right, let's see. All right, first up, let me tell you how this deck came packaged. Okay, so you've got the big book, and really this is almost like having a book that you happen to get some tarot cards with, because really, honestly, the book here is the true gem. It really is the focus. But they have the deck divided into two pieces. So the first side, you have the major arcana and all the court cards. And then on the second side, you have the rest of the deck, which is the rest of the minor arcana. Now, the reason for this is the first stack is the ancestors, which is made up of the major arcana and, like I said again, the court cards. The second part is community, and that's our day-to-day life, the mundane, just our basic stuff that the ancestors, the first side of the stack, helps us with. So the first card is the free man. And the free man here is a little bit different than what we look at in the Rider-Waite, which most of these cards are. But trust me, if you read the book, if you really get into what's being taught here, which is a brief overview and history of hoodoo, a little bit about the different parts of hoodoo and what does what, whether it's cartomancy, whether it's, summoning and visions or whatever, there is a history of it. Additionally, the book also contains different spreads that you can do for ancestors, for root work, or whatever you're looking at. But the free man is the first one, which relates to being the fool. The next card is Black Herman. And I love this card. I love the additional images here. I mean, we do have a wand. We do have a plant for Earth, the Pentacle. But Black Herman's in this particular deck is the Magician. Next is Miss Item. Miss Ida is the high priestess, and you've really got to get the book and read the story behind Miss Ida. And I have found that this card, Miss Ida, is kind of very personal to me. This is a 7-year-old who was a root worker in Alabama. Got the call when she was 7 years old and went through quite a bit to initiate herself, which is unbelievable that a 7-year-old would be initiating herself, but she did. And it's a phenomenal story behind it. So you have to get the book out, read about Miss Ida. Next, the Big Queen. Love this card as well. The Big Queen is the Empress. And again, the story behind the why they chose the Big Queen to be the Empress and this person in our history is a great story. John Horse is the Emperor. This gentleman basically led the Seminole Nation for many years in many campaigns against the Americans. He's fought against the French, numerous ones. I think up until the Vietnam War, John Horse, the U.S. had never won a battle except against this guy in leadership. So it's very fitting that they chose him as the emperor, because absolutely this guy is the god of war. Bishop C.H. Mason as the Hierophant. We've got courting for the court cards. So as you kind of read the book and kind of look at the images, the traditional meaning starts to pop out. I can look at this card and it's very easy to see that this would be the Lover's card in a traditional deck. 7, the Chariot, is Railroad Bill. Now this one's a little bit harder to kind of see, but again, once you read the story behind the individual that's depicted here in this card, it becomes pretty easy. Now, the palette of these cards is pretty muted. It almost has this kind of watercolor kind of feel to it. Pretty much the same basic earthy colors throughout all the suites. But again, it has almost kind of this watercolor feel. This isn't artwork that jumps out at you. What does jump out at you is the story behind each card. And one of the things that make anybody a great tarot reader is if you can take a card or take a group of cards and turn it into a story. And the way that this book has been written, the characters that have been chosen for these cards, there is absolutely no way that you can't string together a story for a great reading. This is also one of my favorites. This is Aunt Caroline. And Aunt Caroline, for those who don't know, was born into slavery, and she basically did tarot with playing cards. As you can see in the imagery, they have the playing cards kind of on her clothing here. That was her gift. I mean, she had people come from hundreds and hundreds of miles around when there was only horse and buggy to get a reading with these playing cards from Aunt Caroline. Every time I start a reading, I do give thanks to HooDoo as well as Aunt Caroline, because, you know, until I read some more about some more of these folks in this deck, she definitely was one of those people that I want to draw on her spirit and thank her for something that had to be in her time a very big no-no, but she kept the faith and became a powerful ancestor for us in terms of readings. Dr. Buzzard is the next card. Gullah Jack as the Hangman, which is a seriously, seriously powerful image here. Ancestors as Death. Father Sims as Temperance. Bristol's Funeral Home. It's Death. The Big House as the Tower. And I'm not going to give it away, but you definitely got to read about this card in the book. It really, really, really hits home. The Grandchildren. Pa. Big Mama as the Sun. This is probably my most favorite card in the deck, honestly, because when I see this, I think of my own grandmother, Sophronia Laree, and I seriously see her with just food and what that meant for the family, what it meant for her, what it meant for all of us. And, you know, as soon as I see this card, like, it makes sense to me that this card should be the sun. Not the traditional artwork for it, but to me it makes so much sense. Them bones. And the garden for the world. When I also look at this, it almost feels 9 of Pentacles to me as well. But love it, love it, love it. And then we have the court cards. As I said, it goes into the court cards. Mother of Sticks, Father of Sticks, Daughter of Sticks, Son of Sticks, Mother of Baskets, Father of Baskets, Daughter of Baskets, Son of Baskets, Mother of Knives, Father of Knives. So individual reminds me of Cujo Lewis, as most people know him by one of the last slaves brought to this country on an illegal slave ship. I've got to look to see who the Father of Knives is, but when I look at this image, it reminds me of Cujo. Daughter of Knives, Son of Knives, Mother of Coins, Father of Coins, Daughter of Coins. So here we have almost a more modern image as opposed to some of the historical images that we've been seeing. Son of Coins. And the second side of the deck then goes into the rest of the minor arcana. All right, moving on to the second side or second stack. We have Ace of Sticks. And remember, these again represent community. So it's the mundane side of the house, the mundane piece of the deck. 3 of Sticks, 4 of Sticks, 5 of Sticks, which there's no, doesn't take a lot to get from 5 of Sticks to 5 of Wands looking at this image. I mean, this is going to be conflict, no doubt about it. 6 of Sticks, 7 of Sticks, 8 of Sticks, 9, 10 of Sticks, the Ace of Baskets, Ace of Baskets. The baskets in this deck represent the cups, sweet. Again, pretty easy to kind of make the correlation from this deck back to the Rider-Waite. I think it doesn't take a lot of going through the deck and kind of reviewing it to kind of get there. 3 of Baskets, 4 of Baskets. It says 4 of Cups to me. That is pretty easy to get from one to the other. 5 of Baskets, 6 of Baskets, 7 of Baskets. Love it. These cards, the artwork is so thoughtful. There's such a huge range of it. I think that I will use these not just, and like I do sometimes, we're using some of these other non-traditional decks as clarifying cards, but I really think I will work this into my practice. I know that there are some situations and circumstances and even personalities that I think this deck would be absolutely perfect for a reading. 4 knives or swords, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. 10. Ace of Coins. Sweet potato pie. That is definitely an offering. So again, I mean, if you just kind of read the book and you kind of look at the imagery, it's really, really not difficult to kind of quickly be able to translate the traditional keywords and meanings to these cards and be able to do a phenomenal reading. 6 of Coins, 7, 8, like that. Love it. 9, 10. Wow. It really kind of brings that whole community thing back full swing. I love this deck. I honestly think I'm going to go ahead and order me a second one just to have in my collection and just use this one to work with. The one thing that I really wanted to kind of give this deck a plus, I'm going to have to give it a solid A. And my only reason is that this cardstock is not as thick as I would have wanted it to be. It's decent, but it's just, this is not going to be a kind of a workhorse kind of deck, which is why I'm going to go ahead and order a second one. Maybe even a third, because I don't want this to not be available to me at some point, and you know how that goes with it. I think a lot of money and effort was put into the packaging and put into the book, which, like I said before, basically what we've got here, we've got a really awesome book that happened to come with some tarot cards. And I think that's where the money was put. It was put in the book, the packaging, and unfortunately not so much into the cardstock. But I love everything about this deck, everything about what this writer, this art, and the artist did here in terms of bringing together what tarot really is and what hoodoo really is, and what all of that, how that works together, the history, and bringing these characters out in such a way that you can take this all, you know, learn it, and really have an amazing reading and tarot experience. So again, I give it a solid A. I really wanted to give this an A+, but can't do it just on the basis that the cardstock could have been a lot better. Make the cardstock better, charge a little bit more. It would have been so worth it. So again, go out and get this. If you like, you can go over to my website at denorlacosta.com, and you can go over there. I have a link out to it. Pick up this deck, do some intuition work with it, and just see where it takes you. But I'm excited about it, and I would love to see this re-released at some time in the future with better cardstock. So let's take a final look at the final wrap, and I tell you, I'm so excited to have this deck, and I really should go ahead, like I said earlier, and go ahead and order the second one, the second copy of this, just to have it in my stash. But again, I give the artwork a thumbs up. Readability, not so much. It's not for beginners, but you know, take some time with the book, read it cover to cover, meditate with it, do some intuition work, and I think this will be a great addition to any tarot reader's toolbox. The boxing was excellent. Guidebook, I should just have given it 2 thumbs up. The history, just how it all ties together, the roots, the Bible verses, all of it awesome. Cardstock, medium quality. This is not the kind of cardstock that you want for a deck that you're going to use a lot. That's a workhorse. So again, that's the other reason why I'm going to go ahead and order a second copy. But again, I'm excited about this deck. It is awesome. Pick it up if you haven't. You can visit my website at denorlacosta.com, and you can pick it up if you go underneath my favorite decks. It's there. This review is there. Order it, get it. Even if it's just something that you want to add to your collection, just as one of the greatest decks probably in the last 20 years. So again, thank you, and see you next time.